Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Laststandgamers, and welcome. So today we're taking a look at a battle map. Now this one goes by the name of the Refinery, and it's been designed by Decisive Raindrop. So what I thought today we would do is have a quick look around this actual battle map itself, see what we can really learn from building a battle map, what you need to get involved, and then pretty much you can have a battle with your friends. So let's have a quick explore of the facilities and the locations. So one of the most important things about building any battle map is deciding on the area that you're going to play. Now Raindrop here has picked this really nice sort of canyon entrance. It's got lots of overhanging cliffs, lots of locations, and you'll notice he's divided up the perimeter here. He's built walls and different areas in hard to access areas to keep players pretty much contained. It's not going to be a very exciting battle if players are leaving this combat area and looking elsewhere for fights. The fight needs to happen around here. So you can see we've got a few of these walls built up to protect the location. Now if we go over to the blue team spawn point, you'll notice there's a few quite important factors here. First up, we have ourselves a wall protecting enemy fire from coming in. You can see these are actually quite thick armored blocks, and they'll just stop any incoming fire from them campers or in case they get pushed back into the spawn bay. Now in here we have ourselves two little vehicle rooms as well as a med bay type system, so players can respawn in here. They can build the ship, spawn the ship in depending on what sort of game mode you want. I think this would be probably more suitable for a rover type gameplay mode, and then they can head out to the facility. So down in this lower section of the facility, you can see they've got a wall that divides up that section, as well as two of these massive oil drums. It's quite a simple construction, but these are going to be quite interesting in a gameplay dynamic. They limit field of view, and you can see the scale of them against my character with his really floppy legs. So if we head up to the high ground, we actually have this little facility. Now this is, I'm guessing, is some sort of town or village. It's still very industrial because we've got them industrial light chimneys, but if we have a look here, we can have a look at some of the different structures. We've got these small shanty type houses. They've got an interior in each one of these, so they could be accessed, they could be shot through, but you've got to really take into consideration lines of sight when you're moving around here as a player. So you can see we've got this massive open area that's going to be perfect for vehicles, lots of space to get through the gates, and as a solo player moving around here is going to be quite fun, quite tactical. So let's just zoom our camera a little bit further up and have a look at some of these other structures as well. So we've got ourselves, of course, these quite cool little sniper towers. If you can find a way up to the top, you could do some damage from up there. We've also got these spires that consist of pretty much just a giant chimney that goes into the ground. I quite like this little facility area. There's a lot of shootouts that could happen here. There's some really cool sort of overwatch positions that you can climb up onto the building's roof here and be gunning down some of the enemy astronauts or space engineers in the streets. Lots of cool sight lines. We've also got this cool little arena area over here as well. If we continue working our way through the town, we've got ourselves this little sort of storage area that I'm guessing it looks like an apartment block. We've got the storage area over to the side. We've got some more buildings there, and we've also got another refinery type system, so there's going to be a lot of combat focus in this area, and it also overlooks two more containers and the lower part of the facility. So before we go down there and have a look at that, let's have a look at this little guy up here. So we've actually got almost a spectator type box. It says it on there, but you can see an admin or someone could spawn themselves up here, and they've just got a nice little view. You could have your tea while breaking between an intermission. You can see both the teams go at it. You can see the red outpost over there. They've got some separating walls trying to convince players to stay within the play area. So let's just continue moving around. We'll have a quick look at the red zone. So the red zone's pretty simple. In fact, I feel the red zone's a little bit better because it isn't exposed on the hills, but you do have two of the build hangars not inside the bubble. Across here we have the perimeter wall trying to get players stuck in, like I said before. Then we have the road that rolls down nice and gently into the refinery area. This is the place that I think is really damn cool. Let's have a look at some of the different buildings. When it comes to building different structures in Space Engineers, you really have to take some inspiration from real life sort of structures. So these definitely look like some sort of storage tanks. You can see that we've got this triangular sort of structure to add support to the beams, as well as a ladder down the center. And then we've got them grey pipes in, well, grey sort of tanks in the middle, just to add a bit of contrast. You can see that we've got a repeat of these going across. What would be quite cool if there was some more connectors going on, but just have a look at this next little structure we're going to have a look at. So this is just hydrogen thrusters tucked into each other, but they look like almost like some sort of vents or tank type valves. Really cool indeed. Non-functional buildings, but you can see they've stuck engines on here as well. But the detailing on them is just damn fun. I mean, in a survival sense, someone would come here and pick this apart in seconds. It's what you notice on the servers. But as you continue working through into this area, you can see we've got another one with the pipes going into the ground, the refineries around the centre. It's got this really cool dome-like structure on the top. You can see how it slopes up on the sides. We've also got this like bracket on the top there. You can only imagine what could be stored in these refineries, or what this place could be producing. So we've also got different sort of tanks set up here. These ones are once again off the ground on this platform, and they've got interconnecting pipes moving around the facility itself. So if we actually have a look here, you can see there's lots of ladders, there's lots of access points for people to sit around, do some shooting from, and we've also got these central type buildings. So this particular one is just a straight through shaft, so you could nip quickly in here with a rover or a tank if you had to, with some containers around the side. You can see the detailing they've added here to make it look like it's venting out, with just adding some armoured slope blocks in there. Very nice detail indeed. As we work our way up this structure, it almost looks a little bit like a grain elevator. You can see they've got more venting going down the side and more pipe work added on there. You can just take note of the contrasting colour of the pipe work there, so there is a little bit of divide in the colours. So as we come over here, we enter into the smaller tank section, as well as a bit more interconnecting pipes. This is probably my favourite part of the map here itself, because as you're looking around, there's lots of cool sightlines, but at the same time, areas are blocked off, so you could move with relatively good cover without being exposed too much. So they've got more connectors coming out the side there, and we've got the central refinery room here, another straight through passage. Not super detailed in the interiors, because this place is designed to get shot up, and if it's going to get shot up, then a complex interior just has more issues. We've got different sorts of storage tanks coming over to this section, and like any good refinery, you have an absolute labyrinth of buildings, and some of them have been repeated, but you can expect that from the detailing. A really just quite neat battle map. So as you come into here, you can see there's a tree in the damn middle of the road. Only if you could remove trees and stop them from spawning in certain areas. But as we just move through it, you can just kind of get the sense and the vibe that this place gives off, as buildings basically tower over us, and there's lots of structures where we could collide or fight in and around. This is something I'd really like to do on our Mad Max server, build some sort of disused industrial centre, so that players can just basically fight themselves around it and have a bit of a relic of the past. Just look at these guys as well. I forgot to cover these, but you can see we've got these massive ball type tanks over here on these little stilts, on these little pads, and these just structures just remind me a little bit of Rust, if you know what I'm talking about. As we come over here, we've got ourselves some little garages where the refinery probably stores some like truck utility based vehicles and whatnot. So a really cool little map for battling on. I'm really hoping to use it in some upcoming battles as well, to have a play around with. It's got some nice ideas how it's got the upper area and this lower area. We'll just have to see how many players we can actually squeeze on with a variety of tanks, trucks, different rovers, and just to get a good idea for it. So let's do one final zoom out. You can just see the scale of the place. This is definitely going to be used for some serious battling. I absolutely love it. Anyway, check out the link to this map in the description below. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and make sure you are supporting the creators of this great content on the Steam Workshop. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.